Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Do not adjust your computer monitors. This is, in fact, the X-Pounds Around the Pound. And I'm your host this week, Marcus Shadow, and that's because, well, instead of what we were going to do, which was to split the last one up into two videos, we decided to do it all in one. So this week, we decided to do something a little extra special, and we're going to take a look at upcoming movies of 2015 that we're looking forward to, aka the most anticipated movies of 2015 as read by the X Pound. Joining me tonight for this list fest, we have Chriz the Mole from over on the Mole Hole.
What's up?
And we have the master of lists himself, James Phoenix.
Yellow.
All right, gentlemen. So I'm the movie guy. I guess I'll kick it off with the first one that I'm looking forward to. And these are also including movies that came out this month. In fact, mine are in order, starting with this month.
Don't you mean last month?
Well, yeah, true, last month. That's right, it is February. Movies that came out in January. So, first movie that I would actually like to see, I've seen some previews of it, and they look pretty cool. It's called Black Hat, produced by Universal Studios, directed by Michael Mann, starring Chris Hemsworth and Viola Davis. And it's basically about a hacker or a hacker group, I'm not sure which, that's responsible for some terrorist attacks, one in China and I believe one in America. And a Chinese intelligence officer and his partner discovers that the program being used for the hacks, it's an exterior hacking program, a remote hacking program actually, that was developed by himself and his college roommate, who has since, I guess, done criminal stuff and has been captured by the FBI and is currently in jail. And when they go over to the United States, they work with the FBI and they convince the FBI to release his roommate to help him, or to help them, in exchange for a commuted sentence. And that roommate, of course, is played by Chris Hemsworth. It looks like a really awesome movie, and I do really want to see that movie.
That sounds like a cool movie, and based on the hacking and which two countries they're using, it's extremely topical.
This is true. Jim, your opinion?
I agree. It sounds like an interesting movie, and it's always nice that they can get these films out, at a time, before the thing that they're about becomes, leaves the media. So that having it out at the time when it's still being talked about is good because that'll get it a lot of attention.
True. All right, let's kick it over to the Mole for his first movie that he's looking forward to.
Okay, I'm going to go in the order I wrote them down, which was almost the order they're released in, except for the last couple, because I missed them by mistake. But first up, I'm going to go with Shaun the Sheep, the movie. If you're unfamiliar with Shaun the Sheep, it's a television show which was spun off from Wallace and Gromit, and this movie itself is a spin-off of the TV show, so it's a spin-off of a spin-off of Wallace and Gromit, which it's made by the same people. It's that little claymation-ish style and stuff like that, and it looks really fun, because I'll be honest, even as an adult, no matter how jaded I get, I can pop in Wallace and Gromit or Creature Comforts, which are all made by the same people, and just be like, I like this. I really do like this. I don't know why. I really do like Wallace and Gromit, and Shaun the Sheep. I watched a TV show with my nephew when he was younger and stuff, and it wasn't terrible. I really did like the TV show, so I'd watch the film. I'm looking forward to the film.
Cool. I've heard of Wallace and Gromit. I haven't heard of that spin-off, but it sounds like it could be a cool movie. And over to Jim. Jim? Hello, Jim.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Sorry. I must have muted that when I thought I was unmuting it.
Learn how to work your headset.
Yeah, what did you think of the movie I mentioned, Jim?
Sounds like a good movie.
I wasn't sure if you'd seen the show or the things it span off.
I'm familiar with Wallace and Gromit a little bit. I've seen the movie with the pants.
He need the wrong trousers.
That
Where
one, yeah.
with the penguin that puts the fucking glove on his hat and he makes and disguise himself as a
The
chicken.
chicken.
God, I love Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. So I've seen that, but I haven't seen the spin-off that this is apparently the spin-off of, but to my knowledge, anyway.
Ah, fair enough. But I believe your film then.
Yes. Um, so, my first film on the list, and I did want to mention this because it did look rather well done. And that is March 13th, Disney's reboot of Cinderella will be coming out. I'm interested in the film because, like I said, I'm a big Disney fan, and I saw the trailer for it, and it did look really well done. The effects look really good. The acting looked really good. It seemed like an original take that was going to be a lot of fun, and not just a rehash of the animated film in live-action form. So I think that's going to be interesting. It's not a turn on its head like Maleficent per se, but not a total rehash either. So I think it's going to be pretty good.
I will admit, I almost put that on my list, but I was like, just because of what they did with Maleficent, I was like, I'm kind of weary of the genre, if that makes sense. But
Which is
hopefully it's really good. Hopefully it is
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, I completely understand your hesitancy to that because I thought about that too, but I said, you know what? It looks like it's a pretty good movie. I'm going to give it a shot just because I really am interested in it. And like I said, it does have a pretty good cast. Kate Blanchett is Lady Tremaine. Helena Bonham Carter is the fairy godmother, which is interesting in and of itself. Stellan Skarsgård. Haley Atwell is Cinderella's mother. So pretty good cast in there.
Unlikely, that's really unlikely, and I know that's a little cliche to ask, but if it's Helen Bonham Carter, please tell me, is this a Tim Burton film?
It is not.
Oh, I would have definitely watched it if I'd turned out that it was Cinderella's Tim Burton.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but that won't be the case again. They're getting divorced.
They might be, but I know if they're getting divorced, but they had gone on record as saying they still want to remain friends, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I could totally see him, whenever he makes a film, it's always her and Johnny Depp.
True.
I do like the Tim Burton films. But yeah, the Cinderella film could be good. There's been a few live-action Cinderellas, and they haven't been terrible, to be fair.
I don't know. The other thing about the Cinderella 15, however, film is that it's also been announced that when the film is released, it's also going to be accompanied theatrically by the Walt Disney Animated Studios short film Frozen Fever, featuring the characters from Frozen. So that'll be a whole nother thing that'll get people to go see it.
And a whole other thing to make me avoid it.
Pretty much. But yeah, so Cinderella.
Nice.
Fair enough. I don't have that one on my list, but it sounds interesting. I'm a fan of like Disney stuff, so that could be cool. So the second movie that I'm looking forward to is actually one that just came out this past Friday, and it's called The Loft, starring Carl Urban and James Marsden. And I've been seeing the previews on TV for this for the past like couple of weeks, and it looks really interesting. And I'm a huge fan of like mysteries and thrillers and stuff, and this seems like right up my alley because it's starring Carl Urban and James Marsden, among others, and it's about, I think there's 4 guys, and they rent a penthouse loft together in a big metropolitan area, and they're basically Playboys, party guys, and they use it to bring chicks back to the pad, bang them, what have you. They have a big hot tub and stuff, so it's the sex party pad for the uber rich elite young people. Well, Carl Urban's like 40, but still. And what happens is one day they come back, and I think it was Marsden who comes back first, and he had gone shopping, grocery shopping, so he had a bag of groceries, walks up there, dead chick in the bed. And you're like, oh shit, what happened? And they realize they'd been set up. And so the whole movie is about them trying to uncover the truth to clear their name, which sounds really awesome. So yeah, The Loft, I really want to see that movie.
That does sound like a cool concept. And I do like the actors you mentioned.
Yeah. Jim, what do you think?
I agree. They're very good actors, and it does sound like an interesting film. I think they could certainly pull it off. That combination of actors, it could be a really good movie.
Yep, absolutely. Doc McCoy and Cyclops. That's a great combination. But yeah, so over to the mold.
Okay, for my next film, I'm just going to ask Jim a question.
Okay.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Ha! Yes. I didn't actually put that on my list, but that's because I figured it would be covered. So I'm like, if I see it, awesome. But I'm not going to go out of my way to see it.
I really do want to see that when it comes out on DVD and stuff. I'm not going to the cinema to see it, but the SpongeBob
Why not?
movie,
You should
Sponge
take your
Out of
nephew to
Water.
go see it.
He's already seeing a film. He doesn't go to see many films in the cinema because he's at that age where, you know what I mean, he's too young for some of them. And he's going to see another one which is on my list.
Ah, fair enough.
The SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. Because I'm sorry, I don't really know what this film's about. I didn't look at the plot synopsis or anything. I don't care. They're selling me on the name alone. SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants. I love SpongeBob SquarePants, and it's a movie. It's SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I hope the Hoff's back as well, but that's really unlikely. But I like SpongeBob. I really do, and it's cool to see him have a movie.
It is.
Again, because he already had one, but Seth doesn't include TV films. But still,
Yeah.
I like SpongeBob.
Absolutely, this could be a fun movie for all ages. Over to Jim.
Alrighty. Well, next up, I'm actually going to backtrack for a moment because I realized I missed one. Backtracking it up.
Back it up, back it up.
Back it up.
Or I could do the one which not many people will get of. Back up, just mind your business. That's all, just mind your business.
I don't get that one.
Fresh Prince.
Ah, fair enough. See, I've seen that show, but I have not seen all the episodes, so. But anyway, I'm going to back up to one of the first films that actually came out this year, from back on January 9th, because I did want to see the first two, Taken 3, with Liam Neeson, because
The final one
Neeson is awesome.
the trilogy.
Yep, Taken 3, I guess the final film of the trilogy, which Liam Neeson only agreed to make on the condition that nobody was taken.
Okay then, I did want to see the first two. It seemed like a really good series.
It is really good. It's a good formula. 30 to 45 minutes of establishing the family, establishing the events of what's going on, establishing the city that we're taking place in. Then somebody gets taken, and then Liam Neeson ass kicks his way across a picturesque European city to get them back.
Oh, is it not the same family? I hadn't seen all of them. I'd seen parts of the first one. It was his family. I assumed it was his family in each one.
It is, but it's different. Spoilers. The first one, his daughter gets taken. He has to get her back. The second one, he gets taken, and he and his wife get taken, and he's got to fight them off. And then he has to get out of there and everything, and she actually has to help get them out, and then she gets him out first, and then the two of them have to go back and get the wife out.
I have to say, the way Jim described that, Marcus, I was thinking of the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids films. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Honey, we shrunk ourselves. So it's, Honey, our daughter was taken. Honey, we've taken ourselves.
Pretty much.
There you go.
Is the third one a baby gets taken and gets made huge?
No, unfortunately no.
How can they call it Taken if nobody gets taken? Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose?
I don't know.
Because the second he puts a bullet in him, they have taken his lead.
Ha.
Or he has taken a life. Either way. That's probably not what they're going for. How could the never-ending story end?
Yeah. Well, if you're familiar with the series, Liam Neeson and his ex-wife are actually the primary in the movie because they're actually divorced as the first film, and he's going to he's visiting his daughter in the first film, and that's how it all gets set up. But apparently, the plot of the third film here is basically his ex-wife's new husband gets murdered. He gets blamed for it. And so he has to ass-kick his way away from the LAPD and run from them and other people while trying to find out exactly who committed the murder and why they framed him for it.
That sounds cool. Only, to me, based on what you said about the other two, that doesn't sound like Taken. That sounds like Fugitive.
Yeah, well.
I did like The Fugitive.
That sounds like The Loft with people who can fight. Seriously.
But that still sounds like a cool way of doing the series, so each one isn't the same rehash of the plot. That does sound like a cool way to do it, and from the sounds of what Jim said about the film, that sounds like that could be a really good film.
Could be, but like you said, it doesn't
Oh no,
sound like Taken.
sorry. Sorry, I was wrong. It's not the husband that gets murdered. It's that Liam Neeson's wife is the one that is murdered, and the new husband blames him for it.
So it's exactly like the fugitive.
And so he has to run and try to find out exactly, she basically he has to get away and try to find out what actually happened, and save the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that movie.
I think it'll be good. I'm interested in seeing it just because it's another Taken movie, and it's Liam Neeson ass kicking the crap out of people. I don't really care if somebody's taken or not. He's gonna kick the shit out of people. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, I'd make the case it didn't matter about the title if it's a continuation at a certain point, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
True.
and it's pretty much the same as the movie Non-Stop that came out last year. Same basic principle. He beats the shit out of people in a beautiful looking city. Pretty much the same plot. So.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Taken 3, I just wanted to mention that because I realized I had accidentally skipped over that one because it was so high on the list, and I did want to see that because I saw the first two.
Nice.
Fair enough.
I still need to watch them.
Yeah, absolutely. So the number 3 on my list is Insurgent, starring Shailene Woodley. It's the sequel to Divergent, which I saw at the end of last year, and I really, really did like Divergent, so I'm looking forward to the sequel. Hope it doesn't completely screw over what was established in the first one. That's all I'm worried about. But if it's anything like the first one, it'll be a friggin' awesome movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Nice.
Over to the mole.
Okay. This is going to sound really weird, my next choice, just because my 2 previous ones were kids' films. My third one, and I'm not joking, 50 Shades of Grey.
Ah.
I put it on my list because I'm sorry, the book, as much as people make fun of it, most of the people who make fun of it have not read the book. It's actually not a terrible story. It's a great way of dealing with this woman and this guy's relationship and all the BDSM themes and stuff. Yeah, they sort of romanticize it, but that's the same with any romance in films. And it's kind of cool, and I feel, based on how big the book was and stuff like that, this film, if they get it right, could be one of those films where you're like, that's a massive thing. And some of the sex stuff they will obviously tone down, which is one of the things people were like, oh no, 50 Shades of Grey, sex. But it's like, come on. If you read the book, it's not that bad, and 50 Shades of Grey toning down the sex and just keeping the heart of the story could be really interesting.
Fair enough. Over to Jim.
Alrighty. That happened quickly.
Yeah, I'm surprised you guys didn't respond about 50 Shades of Grey, but fair enough.
Well, I've never read the book, so...
Neither have I, but, I'm going to give it a shot, because like I said, the book was revolutionary with what it did, so, hey, maybe, the movie, could maybe do the same thing. I mean, there's certainly something to be said about pushing boundaries, so, hey,
Yeah.
give it a shot.
And I will
the
also make the
trailer
case-
looks good, so...
I will also make the case you don't need to read the book before you watch it. It's like
Mhm.
there's people out there that have never read a comic book but will go to see comic films, or people who never read The Hunger Games go to see The Hunger Games, and so forth.
Absolutely. I was just saying I haven't read the book, so I have really nothing to say about the movie because I don't know anything about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, yeah, Jim.
Fair enough. Is it back on me? Did Jeff do one? I'm sorry, did Marcus do one?
I started it. I'm the host.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Okay, I know. It just seemed like I don't remember which one you did, but okay.
Mine was Insurgent.
That's right. Okay, sorry. Just go so fast. Okay, next on my list. And yes, I'm gonna say this. Mock me if you wish. I do not care.
Mhm.
But I like the first movie.
We never mock you. Sorry, I got the words never and always mixed up.
I'm gonna say. Anyway, mock me if you like. But I like I like the first movie. I thought it was pretty funny, and I thought it was not a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
That's on my list.
Nice.
So I can remove that, because I'll be honest, I liked the first one. Yeah, it's not a great film, but it was fun.
I've never seen the first one, so
Yeah.
fair enough.
Well, of course you liked it. It's like about you. It's about a hilarious fat guy.
Hey, I am not a mall cop.
You could be.
And I don't have a monkey sidekick. But no. I like the mall
I
cop.
thought that was Ben Stiller. Didn't we cover that last week?
Nah, this is the one that so far has only produced good films.
Ah.
So far.
So
Because we don't know. But yeah, I liked
Yeah.
Mall Cop 1. I really did. It was a fun film. A fun comedy.
Yeah, and Paul Blart 2, I saw the trailer. It looked pretty funny.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They brought back most of the same cast in there, and the plot is basically Blart goes to Las Vegas.
Oh, that's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And there was a couple of scenes in the trailer about somehow he's in Las Vegas and he ends up having to stop some bad guys, and they show a scene in the trailer where he's chasing bad guys around Vegas, and they end up there's a scene where they're like going to different things in Vegas, and he ends up chasing them into a mall, and he's like, a mall, my turf.
Nice.
And then there's another scene where I can't remember if it's related to that scene or not, but there's a scene where they show him riding a giant fucking Segway that's all like blinged out and shit. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yes, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Props to Kevin James for being more talented than his friend Adam Sandler.
Indeed. So yeah, my number 4, and I'm pretty sure it's on both of your lists as well. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Because
that was my next one. Yeah, pretty much.
That's on my list.
Yep.
Indeed.
The only 2 movies I haven't seen leading up to it are Thor 2. To be fair, I haven't seen Thor 1 yet, which I own and I should watch that. And I haven't seen Winter Soldier, which I heard was really good.
Winter Soldier was very good. I just saw that about a month ago. It was really good.
Yeah,
And of course Guardians, which I am going to see because I want to see that movie.
Yes. And Guardians, which I have in my hand, and I'm going to watch when we're done with this podcast.
Nice.
which is an awesome film, Jim.
I have heard.
But I will say, yeah, I'm looking forward to Age of Ultron. I will admit, which I'll get into later as well, possibly. But yeah, I'm still on the fence of they're doing too many of these.
Yeah, I can agree. And like you, Mo, like you mentioned before many, many times, as we've talked about this on occasion, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is kind of losing its luster. Like, I'm kind of like, I like the Marvel properties, I like what they're doing with them, but the interest is kind of waning. Whereas, like on the DC front, it's like I want to see what they're gonna do with this stuff.
Yeah, I will admit my main reason for watching Age of Ultron is just so I know what happens before I play Lego Avengers.
Do you care?
I'd care until I can understand how the game has adapted it ready for the purpose of me reviewing the game as the game guy.
True.
Indeed.
Yeah, the only thing about Age of Ultron, from what I've seen so far of the trailers and stuff leaked, that doesn't really impress me, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's Ultron himself. Just, I love James Spader, but that's not Ultron.
It's not.
Speaking of James Spader, Marcus, I'm not sure if you're.
Yes.
You are okay. Just checking.
Yeah, I saw the commercial.
I was thinking it's on my TV right now.
Fair enough.
Because I looked up and I'm like, wait, did this cross over with that show we reviewed for Amazon last year? Because all I see is half-bloody James Spader and beat up Ron Perlman. I'm like, what? Wait, what?
If I'd actually watched the entire first season, I would probably be watching that right now, but I haven't, so I don't really care. I'll watch it later. But yeah, like I said, I love James Spader, and when he was announced as Ultron, I was like, yes, because he had just started on the show that Jim was mentioning to me, Blacklist, which if you haven't seen that show, go watch it. It's fucking awesome, and he's amazing. But I was like, okay, yeah, he could do wonders with this part. And then they showed the teaser trailer where he speaks. I'm like, that's not Ultron. Like, that's awesome, but that's not Ultron.
Yep.
So we'll have to see. But yeah, over to the mole.
The next one's on my list, and I think Jim will be able to help me out with this one. Only because I don't really know what the fuck the film's about. I've just seen stuff to do with it, and I'm like, I want to see it. I don't know why. It's just hooked me based on stills and concept art and stuff, and that is the movie by Disney, Tomorrowland.
That is also the next movie on my list.
Not anymore, it's not.
But yes, they actually, just now, about an hour ago, during the Super Bowl, they just released a trailer for this movie.
Oh, I missed that.
It is out there. It looked pretty freaking awesome.
What is it about? Because, like I said, I don't know what it's about. I just saw the concepts. And so, like with Epic Mickey, where they hooked me on the concept art and all the stuff to do with it. I was like, yes, I want to see it. Tomorrowland sounded like it was cool, or looked like it was something cool.
Yeah, I only saw a moment or two of the trailer in passing, but the premise is that Frank, a grizzled inventor played by George Clooney, and Casey, somebody he knows played by Burt Robertson, travel to a place somewhere in time and space known only as Tomorrowland, where their actions directly affect the world and themselves.
Oh, cool! I wasn't sure if it was tied to the Disneyland attraction.
Well, that is what it's inspired by. And it's inspired and named after it's a Disney movie. It is named and inspired after the Disney attraction.
Yeah, I was just making sure, in case it wasn't I just used the name and it was something else.
Yeah, so basically, Frank, Clooney's character, jaded by disillusionment, and Casey, a bright, optimistic teen, bursting with scientific curiosity, embark on a danger-filled mission to unearth the secrets of an enigmatic place somewhere in time and space known only as Tomorrowland. What they must do there changes the world and them forever. It's featuring a screenplay written by Brad Bird, well known for writing Disney and Pixar films, and Lost writer and co-creator Damon Lindelof, which means it may be confusing and unintelligible as all hell. From a story by Lindelof and Jeff Jensen and Brad Bird himself. So it should be interesting. But yeah, the trailer is up, and once when the podcast is over, I'll go find it on YouTube and I'll send it over to you.
It's cool. I'll be able to find it now. I know the trailer's up, but I will say with Tomorrowland, hopefully this puts the scoreboard in favor of yay on films based on Disneyland attractions, because Pirates of the Caribbean, awesome. Haunted Mansion starring Eddie Murphy, fuck that movie. Like, seriously, fuck that movie.
Fuck that movie, but don't fuck the singing bust.
Fuck it all.
No.
But I was like, with the Pirates of the Caribbean, they did a great job with that, to the point. It is also worth pointing out to people who probably already know this, but it's still fun to say. Pirates of the Caribbean was inspired by the Disneyland attraction Pirates of the Caribbean. The attraction Pirates of the Caribbean now is inspired by the film, inspired by the attraction. So the attraction is inspired by itself. That's a weird thought.
Yeah, I noticed that because I didn't realize that because I went to Disneyland, Disney World rather, in Florida on this coast, about. I remember when I last went. It was probably about 10 years ago, 10 years ago, somewhere like there. And I had been to many years before when I was younger, and I remember some of the rides. When we went on Pirates of the Caribbean, I was very surprised because the original, at least the first two of the original trilogy were out at the time. Maybe the whole original trilogy, I'm not positive. But we went to this Pirates of the Caribbean ride. We rode on the ride, and I was surprised because we rode on the ride, and as we're riding through, I saying, okay, like the first room or whatever, and there's our ride in the room. And all of a sudden, there's like Jack Sparrow was in like every room, and I'm like, oh, that's new. Okay. There's Jack Sparrow sitting on a throne on a pile of treasure, and then here he is popping out of a barrel with rum over here, and it's kind of cool.
Fair enough, but doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose? The movie's supposed to be inspired by the ride, so now the movie can no longer say it was inspired by the ride because the ride is now inspired by the movie.
Technically, the movie, it wasn't, the whole thing of watching the movie was not, look, it's based on the ride. It was just Disney using the ride as a set piece or a, motif or whatever, to launch a big, gigantic film. I mean, do you really think people who like Pirates of the Caribbean, the movie, are really going to show up at the cinema or at the theme park, go on the ride and go, boo, we don't like this ride. It's exactly like the film we enjoy.
No.
Plus, rides tend to get updated every few years to remain current. This is a great way of doing it, I'll admit.
I suppose, yeah.
I'm just glad the Haunted Mansion ride was never inspired by the Eddie Murphy film.
Hmm. Although, I don't know if you know this, Mo, once a year it is inspired by The Nightmare
Yep.
Before Christmas.
I do. Once a year it becomes Nightmare Before Christmas.
I assume that's on Halloween.
No, it's on Christmas.
Christmas, actually.
No. Okay. It could have been on either. Fair enough. Jim.
But yes, also on the plus side, Mo, you'll be happy to know that Tomorrowland also features Hugh Laurie.
Nice.
Indeed. Anyway, yes, Marcus.
It's your film.
Oh. Fair enough. The next film, since I'm skipping over Tomorrowland, since I already did that, let's continue on where we were before Tomorrowland, and let's move on to July 17th and Ant-Man.
That's on my list as well, a little further down.
That was further down on my list. But
Yeah,
nice.
I figured I had jumped over a little bit because I figured you guys probably had like the Mad Max on there and the
Nope.
Yeah.
and the Jurassic World and all that good stuff. So anyway, I've jumped up to Ant-Man. It looks pretty awesome. I like Paul Rudd as an actor. He's a good dude. I'm supportive of him being in this role. I think he's going to do a good job. I don't really know much of the backstory of the character. I know enough to know that Michael Douglas is in this thing playing Hank Pym, which that's pretty cool. I know some of the people I know. Mo, you were one of them. You were you didn't think it was right that Hank Pym was not playing the actual Ant-Man, the guy that would be the hero going forward. And I don't know why they would have chosen to do that, but it's an interesting choice. I think Paul Rudd, regardless of which character plays, he's going to do a good job.
My main complaint with Ant-Man when they first announced Ant-Man was the fact going back to what we talked about Age of Ultron, Ultron's not made by Hank Pym, it's made by Tony Stark. I'm like, you gotta do Ant-Man right afterwards. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like the perfect way to introduce him with the one thing he's done that's really noticeable or impactful. And I don't mean that an insult to the character either, but it's kind of a big deal.
And now that they're making Hank Pym to be an older guy, it makes even more sense to have him build Ultron. Really?
Yeah. And let's not short Ant-Man, Mo. I may not know that much about comics, but I do happen to know that Ant-Man was one of the original members of the first Avengers.
He was.
Hank Pym.
He was, but to be fair, I'm saying in terms of something he's done that's huge. When people list the Avengers, the comic itself may be huge, but that doesn't mean that's suddenly an accomplishment of everyone that's been in the Avengers.
True.
Yeah.
Watch out, Ant-Man. I'm excited to see where it goes. It looked like the effects were really good. I like what they did with the suit. I thought it looked pretty good.
I'm curious about him.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it turns out. I think, like I said, Paul Rudd's a great actor. I think he'll do well. And plus, I got Evangeline Lilly in the movie as, I assume, the love interest. What's her name? Who's the what's-his daughter there? I'm assuming that's the character. But then again, if it's a new Ant-Man, it might not be, because that character's always been kind of Hank Pym's flame, so who knows?
The Wasp, yeah.
Yeah, that one. But yeah, Bobby Cannavale's in the movie. I said Michael Douglas, obviously. Judy Greer. A few other people. It should be Michael Pena's in there. Should be interesting.
Indeed.
Back to Marcus.
All right. Well, the next one on my list is, as Jim alluded to earlier, Jurassic World. Because I've seen the first three, might as well see this one. It's Jurassic Park. I love dinosaurs. I love Jurassic Park. I'll give it a shot.
Actually, it's Jurassic World.
Yeah, but it's the Jurassic
I know.
Park world.
This was the next one on my list too, Jurassic World, because I've seen the first three. Only the third one was shit, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Some people say the second one was shit, but it's like, get the fuck over yourself.
I like the second one.
Second one wasn't that bad. The first one was more science and a bit of action. The second one, they figured you already know the science from seeing the first one. What, did you want them to explain the same shit to you again? That'd be boring. So they had to focus on the other part of the film, which was the action, with less science in there. And it was still pretty fun. And it was cool to see Jeff Goldblum, who is pretty much the official god of the X-Pound, in a starring role.
Well, he's co-god with Neil Patrick Harris, but yes.
He beat him. We did a WWE poll. He beat him. Jeff Goldblum. Now, I'll admit, Jeff Goldblum's not God of the X-Men. I just like using Jeff Goldblum in various stuff because I do like Jeff Goldblum, but he's one of those people that when you use him, he's also sort of a joke. I really like him. I don't see him as a joke, but most see him as a joke, which is a shame. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Jurassic World. I haven't seen which ones are the original ones are back yet, but or if any. But I'm still looking forward to it because Jurassic.
Yeah, I like Jeff Goldblum. He better be in Independence Day too. Goddammit.
The only one I thought should be in that, I don't think is, which is Will Smith.
I felt they both should because they were basically co-main characters. Because Goldblum's character was effectively the other main character.
He was, but the reason people went to see Independence Day, I felt, was Will Smith.
True.
And also that cool effect of the White House blowing the fuck up.
True. Welcome to Earth.
Yep.
Yeah, over to the mole.
I went with my next one, Terminator Genesis. Spelled really weird, so they could copyright it.
That's on my list. That's the next one on my list.
Which I've seen Terminator 1, 2, 3. I've seen Terminator Salvation. I've seen Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles. I've played the games and stuff that were meant to be set as a replacement for 3, which was like Redemption or whatever it was called. And honestly, I like the Terminator films, except for Salvation, because that film needed just a little teeny tiny change, and that'd be to add a story. But besides that, I like the Terminator films, and this one sounds really good. And I know Arnold's back, which yay.
Yeah, I wasn't too fussed on this one until I saw the official trailer that they aired during a Super Bowl, and Arnold v. Arnold. Shut up and take my money.
Yep.
Like literally, it's old Arnold, who, based on the fact that he jumped out of a moving helicopter, he was like, "I'll be back," and the chick's like, "Wait, what?" And he just jumped out and swan dived out of a helicopter. Yeah, I'm assuming he's the T-800. And then they showed the shot of CG-ified younger Arnold, so I'm assuming it's going to be Arnold v. Arnold action, which I'm like, yes, I want to see this movie.
Yeah. I believe that the explanation James Cameron gave to help Arnold be in the film as an older Terminator was the fact when they go back through time, their skin and stuff is organic. That's why it's designed to essentially blend in so people will buy that they're human. Yeah. And as a result, when his mission's done, or when it's not done, whichever one, they stay in the past. Therefore, logically, he would have aged.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I will buy this for the purpose of having Arnold back. I will buy this.
Yeah. I just want to know how the fuck he survived being tossed into molten metal.
Because he was also in Terminator 3.
Good point. Did they explain in that one how he survived that?
I'm not sure if it was him. I'm not sure if it was him or if it was a different version of him. Right. Like it's the same model as always sent. I'm not entirely.
Yeah. If they do that, then they could say the one in Genesis is the one from 3, because I don't think the one from 3 ever died.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Good point, Mo.
But I believe it's Jim next for his film.
Jim, you got any opinions before you move on?
I have never seen a Terminator movie.
Get out.
I know.
You need to see the Terminator movies.
Okay.
But yes, moving on, Jim.
Mm-hmm. Also, FYI, Terminator 3, the final scene of the movie shows the head of the Terminator as its glowing red eye turns off.
Okay, then. Then I don't know. Well, to see if they explain it.
It's Terminator. They don't have to explain it.
Yeah, but like I said, he can come back because effectively speaking, there's multiple timelines.
True. Fair enough. Jim, your next movie.
Indeed. Okay. The next movie on my list, coming out on July 24th. I have 2 coming out on that, but I'll do the first one first and the second one second. 2 coming out on that same day. The first one coming out on July 24th, and I know that Mo has this on his list as well, is Pan.
That's on my list.
I have it on mine.
Pan, the New live-action Peter Pan film.
Starring Levi Miller as Pan, Hugh Jackman as Blackbeard, and Garrett Hedlund, of all people, as Captain Hook.
Yeah, and it's also worth mentioning it's not the new Peter Pan film, it's the new Peter Pan origin film.
Origin film, thank you. Rooney Mara will be playing Tiger Lily, with Amanda Seyfried as Mary Darling.
Nice. It's a great cast.
Which I'm looking forward to this.
It is a very well done cast. It should be rather interesting.
I'm really looking forward to this just because at first I was skeptical a live action Peter Pan could have been pulled off until 2003 when they did it perfectly with the 2003 Peter Pan film. And it was like, holy fuck, when he started to fly I was like, oh my god, and I got goosebumps the first time he was flying and stuff. Like, oh god, that's just wonderful, and they captured it perfectly, which means logically they can do it again. Even more so because we have better effects.
Right. Let's just hope they don't become over-reliant on that and make it look shit because effects.
Yeah.
That's my only worry.
Indeed. But it should be interesting. I'm interested to see exactly what the backstory they're going to play on this one is and how it's going to work compared to previous Peter Pan versions. Should be fun.
Indeed.
So background to Marcus.
Indeed, back to me. Next one on my list, Victor Frankenstein, starring Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy.
And it's also on my list later on.
Movie sounds awesome. Hey, come on, Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy. That's reason enough.
Pretty much.
I will admit I was with that when they announced it because it's like a prequel-ish to Frankenstein. Like, come on, the best part of Frankenstein is Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. It's the actual. I mean, when I say the best part of Frankenstein is Frankenstein, I mean the actual story Frankenstein, where he makes Adam or Frankenstein's monster, or Frankenstein as he's always wrongfully called. And I'm like, oh, come on, how can you do that? A prequel to that? Come on, you're going to do a prequel to the part with the monster? What?
Yep.
Well, maybe the sequel will actually be the monster. It would be kind of cool. Like, they end it with him making the monster or, like, beginning the designs on the monster. I think that'd be kind of cool. But I am looking forward to that movie. So, over to Mole.
My next one, which I know isn't going to be overly great, but still glorious. Minions.
Nice.
Because I like Despicable Me. I like Despicable Me 2. The Minions were awesome in that. I feel this movie will either be really awesome or will ruin the Minions. But I feel the Minions could have like the Rabid TV show like vibe to it if they did the film right. And I know it's in the past and stuff. And I'm like, I like the Minions. I honestly look forward to seeing what they do with their own standalone film.
Oh yeah.
Minions.
Could be awesome. Over to Jim.
Mm-hmm. Now the question being, which is the superior DreamWorks team, the Minions or the Penguins?
Minions.
Fair enough.
The Penguins of Madagascar are slightly funny, but not to the same degree as the Minions.
Fair enough.
Jim.
So now we moustache Jim his next one.
Indeed. My next film, also on July 21st, coming out the same day as Pan. I know a lot of people have some doubts about this film, but I'm willing to give it a shot, just because I really like the concept. It may be ruined, but I like the concept. And that is Pixels.
Okay.
I like the concept. I don't like anything else that seems to be built around it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I got them credit. They have some good actors in it. I mean, it could be good. What do you think, Marcus?
I'm not too fussed on it. I mean, it could be good. It could be crap. Like you said, the concept is interesting, but it's not really a movie that I'd be clamoring to go see.
I mean, I'm not a fan of the fact that Adam Sandler is in it, but other than that, it seems to have a pretty good cast. I'm willing to give it an opportunity.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. You have to let us know how it is.
Yeah, when I inevitably see it at some point, I will let you know.
Right. Well, the next movie on my list, and it's actually kind of surprising that it's on my list, but it's gone through some changes, and that's Gem and the Holograms. I am a child of the 80s. I did grow up watching Gem and the Holograms, and that show was awesome. And I loved it mostly for the music. Let's face it, I love 80s music. It's my favorite era of music, and it's a show about a rock band, so it's all 80s rock music. I instantly fell in love with the show. And the reason it's on the list is because from what I've read recently, the guy making the movie actually started listening to the fans and realized, yeah, the fans didn't like where he was taking the movie, so he completely redid it to the point where the story of the movie now sounds like it's more closely following the actual story of the cartoon, which, yay, and that kind of makes me want to see it because the cast isn't terrible. It's a younger cast, which makes sense because, he's going to be trying to appeal to more of the tweener teen audience, which is fair enough. And that's why they originally had changed the story to modernize a little bit. And for those who are unaware, Gem and the Holograms in the 80s was about this girl named Jerica, who was
Isn't that Jim's favorite wrestler?
Ha!
But yeah, so Jerica was the owner of this record label, which owned and promoted the band, the Holograms. She doubled using a holographic projector and advanced computer as Gem, the lead singer for the Holograms, hence Gem and the Holograms. And they had this battle of the bands with this group called the Misfits, and they'd be trying to, sometimes literally trying to kill each other, or at least the Misfits would be trying to kill them, or stop them from getting to their concerts and whatnot. It was a fun show about 80s rocker chicks and just really good 80s music. And when the adaptation for this was announced for a movie, like this relatively unknown director, he's done some stuff. I think he did like High School Musical or something, and that kind of made me go, okay, I don't like where this is going. And I was right to be concerned because the plot that he released to the public, quite frankly, was crap. Because it was basically they're taking Jerica, making her a little bit younger, which, okay, fair enough, I can approve of that. Making her not the president of a music label, taking away the advanced computer technology and holographic projection, which I'm like, okay, so you're trying to set this in 2015 and you're taking away the advanced computer? The hell?
I know, that'd be weird. That'd be almost like doing a film about the journey of Dr. Frankenstein before he even makes his monster.
Nah. But, yeah, and then it was going to take Gem and her friends, and it was going to be about them trying to make it big as an indie band on the internet. And I was like, oh my god, they're just going to sing like little pop
No,
tunes.
they were already an indie band on the internet. They were going to go on a music room and scavenger hunt across LA to find a message left for them by Jerica's father.
Fair enough, but still, it's like, oh, they're just going to sing like pop stuff and whatnot. And then the latest one I read, which I hope is true, because I can't remember why I was looking it up, but I looked it up and I was like, oh, they changed the plot, and it's more in line with the cartoon. With they're bringing back Synergy, which is the advanced computer and holographic technology, and actually making like a rock band and stuff. And I'm like, okay, if they actually follow this plot, this movie could be good. And like I said, the cast was actually pretty good. When I heard the cast, like his casting choices, some of them I didn't know, some of them I did. And again, they were relatively younger, about teenagers. And when I read through each of their profiles just to see what their backgrounds were, and I'll give the director and casting director credit that they actually cast actual singers. So I'm like, okay, this could actually work. They're actresses, obviously, but they're actresses and singers. I'm like, okay, I can buy that.
I will say the original story you mentioned, based on how you described the original cartoon story and the one he was going to do originally, it felt very much like the same one with that, just modernized, because in the 80s, when they did like you mentioned, it was a battle of the bands and stuff, that's what people wanted to do. They wanted to grow up and be these singers and stuff and have battle of bands, which were very popular then. Nowadays, people want to grow up and be YouTube stars and make their music on YouTube and be all like the indie bands and stuff like that. So it's like
True.
that's a really modern way of doing it, and really almost like Batman Begins, where they took away the magic, and by taking away the super unrealistic holograms and making it YouTube, you still have the digital version of themselves out there, while making people question whether or not the version of yourself that appears on the internet is actually someone's true self, or if that's just a representation of what they want you to believe.
True. And that could be cool. I guess maybe part of it was just the summary that I read and the way it was presented. It sounded really bad.
Fair enough.
Like the way you presented it, I'm like, okay, I could kind of see that. The way he presented it, I'm like, no, you're ruining it now. But yeah, I do want to see this movie, and I probably would have ended up seeing it anyway, regardless, just because again, I grew up with Gem and the Holograms, and I'm a fan of the property, so yeah, I would have seen it.
You also grew up with the civilization of man.
And fire. But yeah, so what's the...
You invented fire.
Me, fire.
My movie, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, with what they've done previously. I went with Fantastic Four. Because I'm still hopeful enough that they can get Fantastic Four right. I've seen the trailer, and the trailer looked dark for the sake of being dark with some of the stuff, and it looked like it wasn't the true Fantastic Four because it's taken away the fantastic part of the Fantastic Four. But, however, I'm still curious enough. Part of me believes that they may have presented it that way because that's what the modern superheroes films are going towards. But when you watch the film, it's different. It's like when Amazing Spider-Man was first presented with the cutscenes and how they laid it out like a Twilight-style film. Because that was what the films at the time were, but when you watched it, it was different. And I'm like, I'm hopeful for the first Fantastic Four, and I still say fuck Disney for getting rid of Fantastic Four comics just because they can't make the movies like a pathetic piece of shit company they are.
Yeah, and they did that to X-Men too, like kill off Wolverine. I'm like, fuck off.
Yep, and then they killed off Deadpool when Deadpool was announced he was getting a film.
Wow.
It's like, Disney, horrible company.
But yeah, I was tempted to put Fantastic Four on the list, but I did see the trailer and it did not impress me. And just, people had complaints with the portrayal of Reed Richards in the original Fantastic Four movies, but this Reed Richards is incredibly fucking dull. I was like, I was watching the trailer and I'm just like, this kid is boring. He'd rather be anywhere else but making this movie. He's so lifeless and boring.
He still seems a little more intelligent though, which is good. Because like I said, my main problem with Reed Richards in the first Fantastic Four film is, to me, Reed Richards, whenever I've read the comics and stuff, he's the smartest guy in the room, and he's very aware of that fact. Yeah. The guy in the Fantastic Four films was just there and could stretch. It didn't seem like he was the smartest guy, was aware of it, or was anything like Reed Richards, and I didn't like that. This guy
at least he cared. That's the difference. Is yes, I agree with you that he didn't seem like the smartest guy in the room, but compared to the guy that's playing him in the new movie, he looked like he cared at least about what he was talking about and what he was trying to do. In the trailer, at least what I got from it was Richards didn't give two shits. He would rather just be off bonking Sue.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make the case of when I saw it, I'm gonna make the case of I didn't hate that portrayal of Reed. Like I said, he seemed intelligent, and I loved the lack of caring. Due to the fact, if you read the comics with Reed Richards, he's the guy that before now has just completely gone, no, fuck off, and not given a shit about anything multiple times because he's a dick. He just cares about what he cares about at the time he cares, but that will suddenly swap and stuff. He's sort of a dick that way. But that's why he works as a character, and if they've brought that element to the screen, that could be great. I'm really curious where this goes because it has potential to be huge.
It does. But I don't know, like I said, I didn't even get dick from him. If he didn't care because he was a dick, that would have been one thing. I just got that the actor himself was just bored. He seemed really bored. Not like he was trying to be a dick or he was trying to be holier than thou or, trying to flaunt his intelligence. He just seemed genuinely, legitimately bored out of his skull. And just he'd rather be anywhere else. And I'm just like, that's not Reed Richards.
Oh, when I say a dick,
I mean, in the moment.
When I say a dick, I mean it comes across as a dick to us. But in the comics before now, he's been completely emotionless whenever he's been doing stuff, like really stoic and just emotionless, because that's who he is. He's almost like Spock in that regard. Of he doesn't have the, and I know Spock does in some stuff, but he doesn't have the emotion
Right.
with it because he's too intelligent, and I kind of like that, and I'm curious. I am really curious about that film.
Well, I guess we've got different things that have read. But that's fair enough.
Yeah, it is.
Jim, opinions, and then moving on.
I agree. In the last movie,
I agree with what?
I agree with what you guys said, that it looks kind of dark for the sake of dark, but I am interested in. I think that it could be really good, and yeah, depending on the version of Reed Richards, he does have that very stoic, I'm focusing on my intelligence and don't care about what's going on around me feel. I believe that's actually been to Sue's own detriment on occasion.
Yep. And it was one of the reasons he was perfectly fine being on a completely different side during Civil War and just being emotionless about doing so.
Yeah. So it could be interesting to see him played that way, because Ian Grafud did a great job with the role, I think, or at least as did a good job as he could with the script he had. But yeah, I feel like going with that, this version of Reed might be a little bit better. But yeah, I'm interested to see the movie and give it a shot, because the trailer did look dark for the sake of dark, but other than that, it did look like a really good trailer. So I got me hyped up for the movie. I'm interested to see how they play it out and what happens.
Nice. And your next film.
And also at least they we'll see how they work the I don't really know much about the actors in the new one, but at least they're not going to get the criticism of the last one where they cast one of the most attractive women in the world as the invisible fucking woman.
Yep. I will say Ben Grimm looked awesome in the trailer, so I just hope the actor can live up to what they've made him look like.
Hopefully.
Because despite the flaws of the last movie, you have to admit they cast fucking perfectly for Ben Grimm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they got some of the casting right. Ben was awesome, and so was Human Torch.
Yep.
But basically, Reed, Doctor Doom, and Sue were horrible.
No. See, I think they cast right for Doctor Doom. I think they wrote him completely fucking wrong.
Yep. And don't get us started on Silver Surfer and Galactus.
Yeah.
See, I liked Silver Surfer. Galactus, yeah, they fucked him up.
I didn't like the fact he had a giant penis.
Did not notice that. But fair enough. And again, I wasn't looking down there, but fair enough.
There was a scene where the close-up as he was going through the bridge was literally just his crotch. It was like literally a close-up of his crotch. It's like, I don't want to see this. Thank God I wasn't in 3D.
or heaven forbid an IMAX.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to leave a cinema feeling like I've been completely raped, I'll wait and let Disney do it.
Oh. Yes, moving on to Jim.
Jim's next film. It's Jim's next film. List's gonna get you.
My next film. Anyway.
Fun fact, Jim also lives in a pineapple under the sea.
Ah. Nice. The next film on my list, we did Fantastic Four, so I'm going to move up to September the 25th. As we roll along here. And that is going to bring us to a film that actually I'm excited for, because I really did like the first one. And that is Hotel Transylvania 2.
That was on my list. I liked Hotel Transylvania.
The first one was good.
Which is, yeah, that's good. Which is one of the reasons why I have a little bit of hope for Pixels, because when it's movies about topics that are supposed to be, stuff like that, in this case it's like monsters, and the way kids perceive monsters, and now when it's the way, video games are perceived, Sandler's done okay. So hopefully it'll at least be tolerable.
See, I thought with Hotel Transylvania, the reason it worked, even with Adam Sandler as the voice, is because you didn't know what the hell he was doing in terms of facial expressions and shitty acting. All you cared about was his voice. because it was animated, which works because he's always the same fucking dude in every fucking film nowadays with the same expressions and the same over-the-top facial stuff, and I'm like, no. But yeah, Hotel Transylvania 2 could be awesome. I I really did like the first one. Not overly liked it, but I did like it enough. I would definitely see a sequel.
Oh yeah, totally. And not only did they get back most of the cast from the first movie, it seems here, but they also brought in Vlad, who is playing Dracula's father and Mavis's grandfather.
Nice.
And he's voiced by Mel Brooks.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It's awesome. Anyway, that should be a lot of fun.
Indeed. So, my next movie that I'm looking forward to, Spectre, the next Bond film. Because James Bond. Because I've seen every James Bond film to date, and this is going to be no exception. Now, I do wonder what they're going to do, because the only thing I didn't like about the previous one was the fact that they established Bond as his actual name, which I'm like, you might have just ruined the franchise with that. Because Daniel Craig is not getting any younger. And what are you going to do when you have to replace him? Because it's not like you could do what they did in the old days when they didn't establish if it was a name or not. So people was just like, well, it's probably just a code name, and then you can get away with, replacing the actor. Now it's literally the same guy.
Sorry, but the way they did it originally with the James Bond people, because in the middle of it, Sean Connery swapped out and then was Bond again, and stuff like that. It was supposed to be the same character. It was just different portrayals of the same character. They could easily do that again if they chose to.
Fair enough.
The only different Bonds they've been is the original Bond-ish, and there's also been the Casino Royale continuity of Bond.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I don't know. I didn't like the fact that they established it as his name. I preferred the codename thing, and I think a lot of fans were in the same boat. But it'll be interesting. It'll also be interesting to see if this is Daniel Craig's last movie, because, like I said, he is getting older, and I could see this being his last Bond movie.
Yes, I feel they may have done the establishing of the name thing just because they have gone on record multiple times as saying it was supposed to be the same Bond and the other stuff.
Fair enough.
So maybe it's because fans kept reading into those theories that they were like, okay, let's just do this so they can't do that again this time.
Right.
And what was Jim going to say?
I was going to say, last I read, Craig was signed on for at least one more film.
Fair enough. Also, do we know who's playing Ernst Stavro Blofeld?
We do.
Oh, who's playing him?
Adam Sandler.
What's it? No. What's the date the film comes out? I'm trying to find it on here.
Oh, I don't know, like end of the year. Like November or some shit. Which makes sense. It's probably a holiday film.
What is it? Oh, yeah, Spectre. Here we go.
Yeah.
And,
So what you mean is we don't know, but you're going to research it on
no,
Wikipedia?
because I had read it before. I just can't remember who they had announced it was going to be.
Fair enough.
This stupid thing.
Sounds like Jim's having difficulty getting it up.
Funny.
Oh.
But I'm. Anyway.
Thank you.
Who is it? Where is it?
What is it?
I'm trying to find the.
Awkward silence.
Awkward silence. Well, while Jim's looking that up, over to the mole.
Okay, well, I know he's probably going to say it during me talk about this film, but still, I went with the Peanuts movie.
That's my last one.
An upcoming 3D computer animated film done by the company who did Ice Age and Robots, and I say the company who did them, I'm not saying, all of the films made by that company, but the ones that are actually producing the animation did work on Ice Age and did work on Robots, which we talked about Robots, me and Jim did during the last film, when we were talking just at the end briefly about some of the Robin Williams films, and I liked Robots, as Jim did. I liked the Ice Age films. I really loved that new film that recently came out of, what the hell was it? Sherman and Mr. Peabody, whatever it was called. Mm-hmm. And I think this could be a great film like that. Yeah, there's going to be fans that are complaining that it's 3D because it's meant to look like the original 70s cartoon, is what they'll say, or whatever the fuck it was. But honestly, I'm going to give it a try, and I'm looking forward to it, and it's great to introduce those characters to a new generation.
Yep, and I have seen the little teaser trailer thing that came out like at the end of last year, and it looks great. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, because I was afraid when they were like, it's going to be new, high def, 3D computer graphics. I'm like, oh god, they're gonna ruin this. It's gonna look like shit. It's gonna look like some CG piece of crap. And then they showed it. I'm just like, oh my god, I want to see this movie. Like this looks like Peanuts, but it looks like clean and high def, but it still feels like Peanuts because they kept the animation style. But it's 3D. I'm like, yee, fanboy squeak.
They have not actually announced a Blofeld by name.
I thought you read it.
Yeah, I think he's under a different name, but people are basically saying that's Blofeld.
Yeah, in that case, it's Christoph Waltz.
Right, that's right. Yeah, and if that's true, that could be fucking amazing.
Because the character's name is Franz Oberhauser.
Yeah.
But they're saying that a lot of people have theorized that that's Blofeld in disguise.
What did Jim think about Peanuts?
And let's not forget who's playing the henchman and bodyguard in this movie.
Batista.
Dave Bautista.
That could be interesting. But yes, Jim, back on topic.
Indeed.
Your opinions.
What was the topic?
Peanuts.
Fuck's sake.
Peanuts is going to be awesome. I like the animation style. It's different. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I think it's going to be really good.
It's awesome. It's classic Peanuts, but it's clean.
Yeah, it looks like Peanuts, but modern. I think that's really cool. I know some people said they didn't like that style. I think, Mo, you might have been one of them.
No, I didn't.
Nope, Peanuts is on his list. He's the one that announced Peanuts on his list.
No, I know it's on his list. I'm just saying, I know somebody said they didn't like the particular animation style. But fair enough. Somebody said they didn't like the animation style, but overall, I think it looks really good. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to bring Peanuts into the modern era and show that off to everybody. I think it'll be pretty good.
Cool. On to Jim.
I'm excited for it.
If you have any more, Jim.
Also, I'd like to give them credit for the fact that Snoopy and Woodstock are going to continue to be voiced by Bill Melendez from archival recordings from before his passing.
Interesting.
So, props to them on that.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the list.
Yes, back to your list.
How many does Jim have left?
No, we got them, because my last two were Victor Frankenstein and Peanuts movies, so we covered them.
Oh.
Okay, so over to the mole to finish us off here.
This will be a weird choice, but Mean Mums.
Hmm?
Or Mean Moms.
I haven't heard of that.
That's made my list, because when I saw it, I was like, oh god, is that going to be what I thought it was? And it is, but in a different way. It's an adaptation of another book by Rosalind Wiseman, and it's a sequel to Mean Girls.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, or a spin-off. I was like, okay, is it going to be Lindsay Lohan now had a kid and recreate the same crap? No. Instead, it's going to be Jennifer Anderson playing a mum dealing with the cutthroat life of like urban suburbia, whatever the fuck you'd call it, lifestyle with the parents and how ruthless they can be to get their kids what they need and stuff. And I'm like, I loved Mean Girls. It really did, in my opinion, define the teenage girl movie for years to come, to the point so many people have kept ripping that film off, that I think Mean Mums could be really great. And we've seen the teenage one. Let's see the adult dealing with it now, and this is a great way of doing it. And I'm sorry, Jennifer Aniston is fucking awesome.
Yes.
Mean Girls.
And she's hot.
Oh, yeah, so Mean Girls spin-off, Mean Mums.
Totally.
Is that your last one, Mole?
That was my last one. But
Cool.
I
That worked
don't
out
know if you want to. Yeah, I don't know if either one of you two would want to watch that though.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Fair enough. I wasn't sure if you'd seen Mean Girls or not, because
I look forward to your review of that on the Mole Hole.
You're the
Maybe.
movie guy.
Also, we're not going to talk about it. I would just want to give an honorable mention out to The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, because I have seen the first two films in the franchise. I haven't seen Mockingjay Part 1 yet, but I do want to see that and go see Part 2 afterward.
And like I said to you when we went the lists, that would have been on my list, but I've only seen the first Hunger Games. I sadly had, for some reason or another, just not seen the sequels, which I totally need to buy on Blu-ray to go next to my other one. But
there you go.
They do look cool, and there's some great films coming in 2015. I think 2016 is the year for the movies, because let's not forget Ghostbusters 3 and Batman vs Superman in the same year.
Yeah. Yeah, and Star Trek. Indeed. Well, that was our most anticipated movies of 2015. We'd like to hear from you. What are your most anticipated movies of 2015? What movies are you, the viewers, looking forward to seeing this year? Let us know in the comments below or on the board. Until next time, I've been your host, Marcus Shadow. Thank you to Chriz the Mole and James Phoenix for another successful Around the Pound.
You're welcome.
The pleasure was all mine, Sugar Tits.
Until next time, everybody, take care and good night.